Namaskaram to all viewers of Jyotirmarg. Dear viewers, very soon after the return of Arjun from his conquest of the north, Bhim, Nakul and Sahadeva also reached back in Indraprastha after conquering the eastern, western and southern directions. They all brought with them unlimited wealth which had been collected as tributes. In short, all kingdoms of Aryavarta now accepted Yudhishthira's supremacy and agreed to pay annual tributes to Indraprastha. Yudhishtira was the synonym for righteousness, and as such, in his kingdom, there were no droughts or floods, or plagues or fires, or premature deaths. And thus trade, commerce, and agriculture flourished still further, and the treasury and reserves were full beyond all limits. During this period, his well-wishers and members of the royal assembly addressed Yudhishtira, and they said that the time is appropriate for performing the Raajasuya Mahayajna. Yudhishtira also evaluated his treasury and reserves and confirmed that they have enough wealth required to rule for 100 years. Exactly at this time, Indraprastha celebrated the arrival of the one who is the Lord of the past, the present and the future. It was none other than Keshava who derived that name because of slaying the demon by name Keshi and also because of his thick, black and beautiful hair. Krishna, the ancient one, and the embodiment of knowledge and wisdom, was always radiant and shining like the rising sun. The righteousness and the truth of his karma and dharma was glowing in him internally and externally. Like the sun dispelling darkness and like a gentle and fragrant breeze in a windless region, that Madhava arrived in Indraprastha, bringing with him boundless wealth and treasures of gold and other valuables, which he later presented to Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira received Krishna with great love and respect. Thereafter, when Krishna was comfortably seated along with Rishi Vedavyasa, Rishi Dhaumya, Bhim, Arjun and Nagula and Sahadeva, Yudhishthira addressed him like this: O Rishikesha, by virtue of your grace, now all kingdoms of Aryavarta have accepted my supremacy, and again, with your grace, limitless wealth has also been amassed. O Krishna, now I wish to utilize all this wealth as ordained in the scriptures for performing the Raajasuya Mahayajna, for which I seek your permission and blessings. I wish to perform it along with you and my younger brothers. After a pause, Yudhishthira continued, Or else, O Madhusudana, I think you should be the one to perform this Mahayajna. That will be more auspicious for all of us. I shall wait upon you with my brothers to carry out your orders. Now, Krishna replied with his all-captivating smile, O King, you are the one who is truly eligible for this imperial dignity of performing this Mahayajna. And so, you alone will be able to perform it better than anyone else who is alive today. Without doubt, all of us who will help you and support you will also be rewarded. So you may please employ me to any office of your choice, and I shall gladly carry out your orders. Yudhishthira said, O Krishna, be it today or any other day, I shall be the one to follow your orders. With your presence, participation and support, this Mahayajna is as good as it has been already performed in perfection. Thereupon, with the permission and blessings of Krishna, Vedavyasa and Dhaumya, Yudhishthira spoke to Sahadeva, giving him the first command related to the performing of Raajasuya Mahayajna. Yudhishthira said, Sahadeva, you shall be responsible for obtaining all materials required for the yajna as ordained by Bhagavan Vedavyasa and Rishi Dhaumya. Arjun's charioteers, Indrasena, Vishoka and Puru will take care of procuring all food-related products which will be the best in taste and smell. And they will report to Arjun. Yudhishthira further asked his chief assistant Sahadeva to send speedy messengers with invitations to all kings, monarchs and rulers, and to learned Brahmins, and to all Vaishyas and Shudras who are the best in their trade and profession. As per Yudhishthira's command, thousands of laborers and craftsmen started working on accommodation required for all the invitees of the Mahayajna. Then Yudhishthira sent Nakula to Hastinapur to invite Bhishma, Drona, Dhritarashtra and others. Accepting Yudhishthira's invitation, King Dhritarashtra, Bhishma Pitamaha, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Vidura, Duryodhan with his 99 brothers, Karna, Ashwatthama, Shaguni, Gandhara King Subala, Jayadratha, the ruler of Sindhu, and many others arrived at Indraprastha. Then there was an exodus of kings, monarchs, and rulers, among whom were Shishupala, the king of Chedi, Bhagadatta, the king of Pragyodisha, who came along with Mlecha kings and many mountain kings, and King Bruhadbala. Then came King Paundraga Vasudeva, the king of Vanga and Kalinga, King Akasha and King Kuntala, and the kings and monarchs of Malava, Andhra, Dravida, Simhala, Kashmira, and other regions and kingdoms. Thereafter arrived Kundiboja, Gauravahana, the Balhiga kings, king of Malsya, the powerful Mavela, and then many more kings also. From Dwaraka came Balarama along with Vrishni heroes like Pradyumna and Samba and several others. Learned Brahmins and distinguished men of name and fame from among the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras started pouring in from all over Aryavarta. Yudhishtira made arrangements to receive them all as per protocol and then to take them to their mansions and apartments with excellent choice of tasty food and drinks, ripe and tasty fruits, and sufficient attendants to take care of all their requirements. Yudhishtira himself came out to receive Dhritarashtra and those others from Hastinapur and addressed them like this: O great and dear ones, please bless me to perform this Mahayajna without obstacles and mistakes. All the wealth in my custody I am dedicating to you. Please accept it and then manage everything with propriety and righteousness. Afterwards, various responsibilities were assigned like this. Krishna, the ancient soul of this universe, stood at the gate to wash the feet of the Brahmins. The responsibility of feeding all invitees, including the management of the kitchen, food, and all edible items, was assigned to Dushasan. Sanjaya, a scholar and a disciple of Rishi Vedavyasa, and now the charioteer and advisor of King Dhritarashtra, was appointed as the protocol officer. Ashwatthama was asked to attend to the requirements of the Brahmins. Finance was entrusted to the wise Vidura of a very high level of morale and an abundance of experience. Duryodhan was the one in charge of receiving tributes from all the kings, rulers, and monarchs. None of them came with less than 1,000 gold coins, beyond which also they had brought with them many more precious gifts and presents. Safekeeping of gold and valuables and distribution of gifts to the Brahmins was entrusted to Krupacharya. Bhishma and Drona were given the overall responsibility of ensuring that everything was managed and carried out without any mistakes. Dear viewers, till now we were discussing about the management of the great event by name Raajasuya Mahayajna. Just imagine about its magnitude and brilliance with Lord Krishna at the gate and Bhishma, Drona, Kripa and such greats holding key positions to ensure its faultless performance. Now, let's go into the details of the greats who were performing the yajna. None other than Rishi Vedavyasa was the chief priest or the Brahma of the Mahayajna. Leading the chants of Samaveda hymns was Sushama. Adhyaru of the Mahayajna was the great Rishi Yajnavalkya. And Adhyaru is the one who will manage the systems and procedures and also in charge of the materials used in the Havan and the one who is responsible for the Agni blazing in all its splendor all through the course of the Yajna. Rishi Paila with his son and Rishi Dhaumya were the Hotas, meaning the invoking of the deities will be carried out by them. And the sons and disciples of these rishis were the Hotragas. Over and above, the presence of the great Rishi Narada spread celestial radiance in the Yajnashala. Like that, the greats among the rishis of that period were all assembled there to perform the Raajasuya Mahayajna for King Yudhishtira. That Mahayajna had 6 fires which were all ablaze at the same time. While chanting the Vedic hymns and prayers systematically, libations were offered into the sacrificial fire, making those 6 fires and their blazing flames to go up and touch the skies. Like that, those Ritviks at an auspicious time installed Yudhishtira properly at the Raajasuya Yajna. That great king Panduputra Yudhishtira sat at that place designated for him, surrounded by divine rishis and Brahmins. Chanting of the Rig and Samavedic hymns resonated all around that Yajnashala. Agnideva, who is the Yajnavahana, delivered those offerings made in those 6 Agnis to the Devas and Devatas of that Yajna, whereupon they all showered blessings on Yudhishtira. The first focus of the Raajasuya Mahayajna was the offerings made along with the Vedic chants in the 6 Agnis and thereby receiving the divine blessings. The second focus was the distribution of wealth in all 3 ways, starting with Annadan, which is feeding the participants and the citizens to their entire satisfaction, then Dhanadan, which is the distribution of wealth to all participants and citizens, and finally Vastradan, which is the distribution of clothes, beds, bed sheets, shawls, etc., and other materials made of fabrics, linen, and cotton. Yudhishtira distributed all his wealth during the course of this yajna, and thereby he earned the blessings of all the participants and the general public who had arrived to witness and participate in that Mahayajna. Finally, the day arrived when the holy water of the yajna had to be sprinkled on Yudhishtira, for which the Ritviks and Brahmins and the kings, monarchs and rulers entered the inner chambers of the sacrificial mansion. Sitting in that assembly of the greatest among the greats, among kings and saints, Devarshi Narada remembered the words he had heard at the assembly of Brahmadeva. Narada had heard that Lord Vishnu will be incarnate along with several other devas for reinstating dharma on this earth. Devarshi Narada saw the divine bliss of Vasudeva Krishna as the Srishti Stityanta Karaka, who is the one and the same as Jagannatha Narayana Ananda Vishnu, having taken birth among the Yadavas as Vasudeva Krishna. Realizing the divinity of that Lord, who is now born as a mortal, Devarshi Narada did Manasa Puja by worshipping Lord Krishna in his mind. Thereafter, addressing Yudhishtira, Bhishma said, O Bharata, you may listen to my words. Acharya, Purohit, king, relative, friend, and Snadaka, meaning the one who has completed his studies, are the ones who deserve to be respected with the offering of Arghya. All these kings have been living here as our guests for quite some time now. Therefore, O king, you may now offer Arghya to each one of them, starting with the one who is the best and foremost among them. Thereupon, Yudhishtira asked Bhishma, who is the one who deserves to be respected first and foremost among those who were seated there. Bhishma said, Most radiant and shining among all radiant and shining objects of this world is the sun. Like that, the one who stands out most and deserves maximum respect among all mortals is Vasudeva Krishna. Thus ordained by Bhishma Pitamaha, the mighty armed Sahadeva came forward and offered Arghya consisting of the best of ingredients to Vasudeva Krishna, whereupon Krishna accepted them exactly like how it had been described in the scriptures. But Shishupala, the mighty king of Chedi, and a close friend of the late king Jarasandha, who was slain by Bhima, could not accept Krishna being chosen as the most eligible to receive the first Arghya. An angry Shishupala got up from his seat and burst out first at Yudhishtira and the Pandavas, and then at Bhishma Pitamaha. And finally he turned to Krishna. Thus, there started the first and last censuring situation and incident while performing that most auspicious Raajasuya Mahayajna by King Yudhishtira. Dear viewers, here ends this chapter of our summarized rendering of Rishi Vedavyasa's timeless epic Mahabharata. Harihi Om.